Hey guys, Lizardlea here for day 4 of the Heaven and Earth Design for Heavenly Beasts. 4. Wouldn't it be nice if I could finish already? No, I'm kidding. This is what page 1 looks like so far. Kind of looks like a weather map or something. Like, this is the danger zone, I think. um, I'm slowly getting there. Yeah. I'm just gonna go stitch now.
Alright, so I was asked to talk about how I've been feeling about this cross stitch so far. Uh, I mean, for the most part, it just brings me back to the Pokemon cross stitch. You know, it's this just gigantic project with all of these pages, and it's just a ton of full stitches with 2 strands everywhere. So far, the main difference has been that it has metallic thread in it. It has the Kreenik rather than just regular DMC floss. Your typing is loud, handsome.
Love you.
Love you more. So, that's been different. You're not using the quiet keyboard, so it doesn't matter.
I got one.
That's nice. You're not using it. It makes no difference.
Am I helping it?
Not yet. I have the Grime Guard everyone was telling me about, but the Pokemon cross stitch I did in a gigantic hoop, and it never touched like anything, so there was no need for a Grime Guard. I mean, the main reason for now that when everybody was telling me to get a Grime Guard and I looked into it is I got one because the bottom of it is always touching like my desk or books that I have on my desk. I'm sure every once in a while you guys will see that I have to move it around, like right there. As long as it lines up correctly, I had to move things. So I do want to make sure that, you know, the fabric that I use later on, in, you know, page like 12 or whatever, is clean. So that's an upgrade. I mean, it's been nice. I mean, the biggest improvement I would say is that the app you guys were telling me about. I've forgotten the name of it now. But the one where I'm tracking my progression. So much easier than trying to track it with highlighters and whatnot. This is so much better, so much easier, and from the way that I cross stitch, this is just the best option for me personally because it'll highlight everything on that page, and when possible, I want to complete an entire color in one run per page. I remember when I was working on the Pokemon cross stitch, there was someone who had started and they did the black the whole way through. And if memory serves, they had actually like done 2 stitches too high, and then that led to everything else underneath it being too high by 2, which of course messed it all up. I don't recall if they finished it, if they restarted, if they picked it out and redid. I don't know. I cannot tell you. It might be posted in the forums where Pokemon Gen 1 was created. I'm not sure. I'm getting off track. I apologize. It's been nice. I mean, I'm doing it on 18 count. The recommended size is 25 count, and I just, with the way that I work, anything above 18 count is just really difficult to see and work with because I have a camera right in front of my face while I'm working. So it's like I can't get up on top of it the way I would need to work on a higher count fabric. So that's nice. It's going to be slightly bigger than what they say, so I'm fine with that. Yeah, I've already broken 2 needles. The most recent one was when I was working on the metallic thread. Just because... So, I am ahead of you guys by several days. I will get into that in a moment. Yes, sure, honey. Eventually you will see when I'm working on the metallic thread, metallic thread does not like me. Alright, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. It doesn't like me. And there are times when I don't like it. I don't like working with it. I like how it looks in the end product, but I don't like working with it. And so I have to, you know, basically like wriggle the needle around to try and get it through the hole, and then I have to not yank on it because you don't want to do that. That is not good for it. but I have to pull on it to get it through, and it left my wrist really sore. So
How far away?
I might. It was sore, honey. Don't be mean. So in the future for other pages, depending on how much metallic thread there is, I might do those in portions rather than doing the whole thing per page, because that was painful and I didn't enjoy it. It was not good. But so okay, I was gonna say with the changing of I don't know why I said changing, that makes no sense. I guess the changing of my schedule with after the 2-year hiatus. So I am, like I said, I'm several days ahead of you guys. This is day 4. On the last day that I stitched, I was on day 9. So I've only been working on editing and doing the narration and saving and posting 1 video a week. So I've been getting my videos published for you guys at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, my time, which is, what are we, Pacific time?
Yes, dear.
Yeah, Pacific time.
We live in the ocean.
Isn't that what it's called? It's
Yes,
not mountain
Pacific
time.
Standard
It's
Time, yes.
yeah, that's okay. I was
I've
like,
never said
I grew up in
anything weird
Europe,
before.
so it's just like I'm not used to this. Okay, it's not my fault.
But it is fun to poke fun at you for.
Oh, you shush. So it's a lot less stressful than I remember all of this being when, I was like really active with my videos. Also, when I was working part-time, that definitely helped. But it was a lot more stressful just because I knew I have to set across a whole day to just try and get narration for all these videos. Excuse me. Get, all this editing done, post it as soon as possible, versus it's much easier now for me to be like, I can have this video edited and with narration by next Saturday. I can do that. So I'm enjoying the 1 video a week schedule. And I like having a regular one, because then I know 9:30 a.m. when I'm generally cross-stitching on Saturdays now, I'm like, oh, hey, my video just went live. I can go see if anybody's commented yet. And, I know to keep my eye out, and, or I'll just be like, hey, I'm cross-stitching, so they'll be happy to know that. So, yeah, it's, I have to say I'm really excited to be doing a big project. I definitely missed this. And I'm very happy it's on white fabric and not black fabric, because Magnificent Wizard was brutal. And I'd rather avoid that for as long as possible for the next one. Yeah. There isn't a ton to talk about. Because, I haven't really changed my process a lot. I still, as you can see in my videos, I cross-stitch with my left hand in front and my right hand in the back. My hand-eye coordination is still very good with getting my needle through the hole in the back. And it's really funny. Every once in a while, I'll look over behind me and I'll see David watching my computer screen. And I'm just like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm watching. And it's so weird, because I'm like, sped up, I can totally see how this could be really cool, because you get to see it go from nothing to like a full page is done, and that's really cool. It only takes like an hour, versus sitting here watching me for 6 to 8 hours. I feel like that isn't exciting, but he also only watches me for like 2 minutes at a time, so there's probably a reason for that.
It is interesting. In bits and pieces.
Yeah. I don't know, I can't watch my own cross-stitch videos, and I can't really watch other people's cross-stitch videos unless they're specifically talking about it or something, just because watching it makes me want to cross-stitch. Like, I don't want to watch someone else cross-stitch. I want to go cross-stitch. I am very me when it comes to cross-stitch. I want to do it. I'm excited about it. I love it. That's what I want. I don't know. Do you have anything to say about me cross-stitching?
I like that you have a hobby that you enjoy and are good at and has made you happy to get back into.
Why, thank you. Do I seem like I have a ton of patience? So it's literally, hold
With
on.
stabbing things.
Okay, thank you, honey. So, no, I've had so many people comment on my videos, and they're like, you must have so much patience to, do big projects like this. Do I seem like I have more patience than most people? Really?
Really,
Okay,
retail worker, yes.
Okay. Yeah, and I was gonna say prior to me like working on 4 Heavenly Beasts, but yeah, retail. Yeah, that definitely.
Yeah, that thing where you didn't stab people you worked with, yeah, no, that's pretty good.
Definitely helpful. But I mean, I was like that before retail. Retail did not mold me into a patient person. I am a patient person. I don't really have anything else to talk about. So,
yeah, okay.
Shall we go to the questions?
We can go to the questions.
All right.
Are we going to the tape?
The tape? What?
No, it's not funny. Go ahead, continue.
There's a tape? I'm so confused.
No
Is it sticky tape?
Yes, dear, go ahead.
Is it recorded tape?
Probably.
Okay. All right, so we left off on question 247. What subject was likely the weakest subject for your mate in school? Okay, I don't know if mate is supposed to be like you and I, or like your friend, your mate. I mean, I'm assuming it's supposed to be
Aren't
about
we on
us.
the whole relationship section of the quiz?
But we're not animals. I don't refer to you as my mate.
The gorillas will go into the forest.
Oh, honey, no. Okay, what do I think was your weakest subject? Ooh. See, the problem with this is I had a weakest subject. I was still a straight A student. I worked my butt off, but I had a weakest subject. Versus David is incredibly smart. Did not get the grades to reflect that because he didn't really give a crap.
Kind of.
Yeah. I know this because we've discussed this. So, your weakest subject. English? No, you were good in English, weren't you?
Generally.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want weakest by grades or weakest by I actually was bad at it?
For this, I would say weakest, you're actually bad at it.
Then, yeah, I was fine in English.
Yeah, okay.
I had one rough year.
I think you were...
I dropped out of that class.
I think you were pretty good at math.
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
Other than...
History?
I aced history.
Aced history.
Generally.
Well, yeah, okay, we're talking on average, overall.
I think every year I did well in history. That's like the only class I consistently did well in because I had really good history teachers.
Oh, that's nice.
They always enjoyed what they were teaching, and I always found it very easy because I was usually in only regular or honors when, especially by senior year, I should have been AP. But oh well, different story. Continue.
Now at this point, I'm just throwing them all out there. Science? You had to have been good at science.
I mean, I slept a lot in chemistry, but other than that...
And if you still got by, then
yeah.
Obviously you're really smart. I mean,
this
what
is
other
also
subjects?
hilarious because you should have already figured it out.
What other subjects are there? Like, are we including, like, specials, like health and PE?
If you want.
Because I wasn't considering them at all.
Electives.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the electives. Because most of the time, a lot of them were only, like, 1-year things.
So what do you think I was bad at?
Like, I know we've talked about this, and I know there were classes. Okay, so I've gone over English, history, math, science. What other subjects are there? My brain is, like, mush.
I
don't know.
Bonjour, me llamo es David.
Language. Oh, see, I put language in, like, in the electives as well.
I was never very good at languages. Partly, I think it's because how they teach them. I did do Duolingo, and I was doing okay at that.
What, lingo? What?
Duolingo? You never showed you that? It's a...
I think I used that as an app for a little while.
Yes, to help learn languages and whatnot. It's quite good because it teaches languages in a way that's more conductive to learning language, in my opinion. Like, the way they teach languages in schools is like the same way they approach math, and it just doesn't really work, or at least it didn't work for me. It would never click. I'd always do terrible, and I, to this day, cannot speak very well French or Spanish, which I both took. But yeah, I liked Duolingo, and the only reason I stopped was because it also wanted you to, like, write out the words. And I was like, I don't want to read it. I want to speak it. I might go somewhere, so I need to just learn how to speak it right now. I don't want to mess with spelling in French because the French don't know how to spell.
Man, Americans don't know how to spell. Are you kidding me? Look at the words.
Spell s'il vous plaît.
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's a few S's in there more than you might expect. It's 3 words. There's an L in there too.
Like pneumonia. If you ask anyone who's not a native English speaker, they will not start with P.
No.
Because that makes no freaking sense.
And if you took that and made an entire language out of it, you would have French.
Okay, if you say so.
It's pretty bad. Okay, in my opinion, it was pretty bad, and I struggled with it, and therefore I have not been good at language. Which you know, because you've judged my ability to speak other languages all the time.
Honey, say quesadilla.
Casalatalo?
Yeah, no, screw you. You were a liar.
And yet you didn't get it.
We both know you can say quesadilla.
Casatl?
What is casatl? What are you saying? It sounds like you're trying to say, like, Quetzalcoatl, which was, like, that Aztec god.
Yeah. I'm not.
Yeah. Quesadilla. It's just quesadilla. Muchas gracias, señor.
See.
Languages was
Esta es
not
la
my
biblioteca.
difficult area. What was my weakest subject?
You mentioned it and I've spaced it. Because you were upset about it. Was it English? No. It wasn't one of the sciences, was it?
No.
No, I don't think so. See, the problem is I don't think it's any of the core curriculum, right? English, science, math.
No, it's not one of those.
Yeah, okay, I knew that.
I mean, so the one I was telling you about that I was struggling with was my English teacher my junior year was a piece of crap.
Right, you got that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, because I was like, I thought that was English, but I know you're not. I know
No, I'm amazing at English. Yes. I know I don't always speak eloquently, but I aced those classes until Wagner, my junior year, who was a piece of crap, and I took AP online or AP Literature online my senior year. The exact same period that she taught AP Lit in class. And I had to go and speak to the principal about it. Because he was like, this isn't normal. Like, the only time you're supposed to take online classes is when it's not available to you in school. And so he was like, there's no reason for us to make you take this, to have you take this AP class online when you can take it with her. And I was like, Principal Moody, if you make me take this class with her, I will never walk into her classroom again, and I will go to the the simplest level English class. I will not put myself through the crap that she put me through again. And he was like, oh, well, okay. And he pulled me up, and he was like, oh, you have straight A's. I was like, yes, sir, yes, I do, because I care about my grades. And she just was horrible. Like, I've probably talked about it to you guys a lot before. If you want to hear more, I will be more than happy to discuss it, because getting it off your chest always feels nice. Screw Wagner. But
yes, dear.
He kept telling me how he was gonna have to talk to my parents about it, and I was like, oh, you can. They're gonna support me, because my mom came in with me for a student teacher conference when Wagner lied to both of us to our faces, and so my mom is in the same boat. She doesn't want me to have that class again. He never spoke to my parents, by the way. I just got to stay in the online class.
I see.
But if he had asked them, both of my parents would have backed me up, which is very nice. So, not English. That was the important part of that. I apologize. Continue.
So it was not English.
No, not English.
I feel like there was another one you told me, but I can't think of it for the life of me. It wasn't language. You didn't take coding or debate or anything like that.
Not an elective.
Yeah, not an elective, but it's not core curriculum. PE?
I consider that an elective.
Yeah.
Also, I was good at PE.
Yeah, no.
I can pace myself.
Yes, dear.
I have asthma, but I can pace myself.
Yes, dear. I do not recall.
History.
History. Really? Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
I know that.
I have a really hard time with memorizing dates and whatnot. Like, I don't know what years World War II were. Like, the mid-1900s? I literally, I have no concept of years. And I think that's actually really easy to tell with me. Because when people are like, oh, Liz, where were you in the year 2000? I'm like, I don't know, but from 1st through 4th grade, I was in Germany, and from 4th to 7th grade, I was in Spain. Like, I do everything by grade. I don't do it by age.
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't do it by
done.
year. I do it by the grade that I was in.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think I was in Germany in the year 2000. Because I feel like that's when we got a computer. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, you know, like when 2000 hits, everything is just gonna just die and we're gonna be screwed.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that. Like now where I'm at, where it's like, okay, they were doing everything with just the last two digits. So they were gonna go from 98 to 99 to 00. And they were like, you know, that's not a number. Like, what if the computers can't understand that? And then it wasn't a problem. I don't know. That's what I understood of it as an elementary school kid.
Yeah.
That was what I got out of it.
Yes, dear. You got out of it.
So yeah, I'm so bad at that. Like, I would usually cram the night before. On just like quizzing myself and trying to memorize everything. I'd take the test, I would ace it, and then I would forget everything. Like, unless something was incredibly interesting to me, I could not retain it when it came to history for more than, you know, whatever length of period it took to take a test and be able to forget it.
Yeah, I normally had good history teachers, and that helped because they
See,
were
I had good history teachers. I cannot retain that kind of information very well. Like, I know my birthday, I know your birthday, I know my mom's. Like, I know my immediate families in month, day, and year. But I don't know. Like, I the other day I was thinking that we had been talking about that, how my previous boss had forgotten his anniversary or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, I know our anniversary. It's January 31st, 2017. And I'm pretty sure I said 2017 because later on I was like, it's not 2017, it's 2018. We met at the end of 2017. And then we made it official the next year, which would have been 2018. So I don't know. I'm too lazy to go back and re-listen to my videos. But if I did say 2017, you can call me out and tell me I'm a liar. But then you can go a few days later and see that I corrected myself. So even important dates, I'm not good at that.
Yes, dear.
So that was long. I apologize.
It's okay. You stitch for a long time.
This is true. We're not even halfway. We're like
can tell.
maybe a quarter of the way.
Because I can see the bar from here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I can do spatial relations to estimate.
See, but they can't see this, so.
That's their fault.
How is it their fault?
And they can see the progress bar at the bottom of the video.
That's true. That is true. Okay, I can give you that. Okay. Moving along. Who is more likely to bring home an abandoned kitten or puppy?
You.
No, absolutely not.
You would leave an abandoned kitten or
Oh,
puppy.
no. I would take them straight to, like, a vet or a clinic or something. I wouldn't bring them home. No, I wouldn't do it.
Cast doubt.
Mm-mm. I couldn't, because then I would get attached, and then I'd have a hard time giving it up, and I do not want to have a cat or a dog. I love them, by the way, you guys, but we are both allergic. So, I mean, I guess in the long scheme of things, I'd probably be the one be more likely to do that, but I would still rather just bring it straight to the clinic. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't make this cat feel better. I can give it water, I could give it human food, and that's it. Like, it'd be better for me to just take it to a professional who knows what they're doing, who can actually save it.
This is true.
Ooh, 5 interview questions.
Oh boy.
With resumes becoming more and more generic due to the proliferation of coaching available in a competitive job market, the interview questions you ask to create the ideal team for your company are more important than ever.
Are they now?
Here are 5 interview questions. What's something you'd be happy doing every day for the rest of your career? Cross-stitching.
Surprise!
Coding for you?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's 5 days a week.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of what I already do, so, yeah.
Yeah. Would you be okay doing that for the rest of your life until you retire?
I mean, this style, yeah, it's calling it just coding seems a little disingenuous because I'm not what most people consider a dev, but yeah.
I could totally cross-stitch for the rest of my life. Wouldn't even have to retire. I would continue to do it until I went blind. How important is physique to you for a healthy relationship? Wait, what?
Physique or seek?
Physique. How
This
important...
is an interview question?
Mm-hmm. I'll read the explanation in a moment. How important is physique to you for a healthy relationship? This is erring on the personal side of things for the typical job interview, but hey, it cuts down to someone's primal attractions and values, even if it would take one heck of a rare company mission for this one to be appropriate. That one would never be appropriate.
Yeah, no, this is asking to wind up in a sexual harassment lawsuit.
Right? Like, oi. But, I mean, we'll answer the question for us. I don't think it's the most important thing. I mean, I will say if David started to gain so much weight that, like, I was taking him, like, to the hospital or something because he was not healthy at all anymore and was having health problems because of it, that would be a problem. I wouldn't end the relationship over it. I would try and help him, like, diet, and I would force him to, like, go work out with me. But no, I think there are more important things. Like, I would rather he has a dad bod and stays... Hey.
Feeling attacked here.
I'm saying,
No, I'm kidding,
if it were to come to it, I would rather you have a dad bod and keep your attitude and your personality and your intelligence over you becoming, like, a GQ model and losing everything else I just mentioned.
I see.
Like, I prefer personality over physique. Your turn.
I have a type, but, like...
Okay.
Beyond that, I mean, I think that, like, everyone's got different levels of physical attraction and how much that matters to them. I've met some people who would be classically considered as quite shallow. But I don't think I'm that. I think the big thing is just don't risk your health and your ability. Like, I like being able to go on walks with you. So, yes, if it were becoming difficult to do that, I would try to help you. Go exercise, let's diet, let's do things. Just because I feel like, one, that's healthier for you, and, I love you, so I don't want you to be unhealthy.
I want you to live longer.
Yes, that stuff. And then, two, it's like, well, yeah, I want to be able to do stuff with you and not have to, like, stop and wait and, like, oh, okay, And I know that's always a struggle and whatnot, when, especially as, like, you get older, it gets harder to keep your physique. But, like, it's not, like, super binary where it's like, nope, done, or anything like that. I don't think I'd ever just ditch, like, I'd rather help somebody out. And it's not, again, personality matters a lot, so.
High five. All right. How do you define success? This is a very dry and boring question, which gives much more credit to a person who can actually answer it with creativity and gusto. Oh, in an interview. Okay, how would you define success?
Standing over the bodies of my enemies. There, was it creative enough?
I was going to say creative, and you had an answer. Gusto, man, yeah.
I mean,
Define success. I mean, personally, I think I would consider myself successful in my life because I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy with where I'm going. I think I'm successful. Like, I think success is different for every single person. Some people strive to become, like the CEO of a company. So that would be what they consider successful. So until they get to that point, they don't think they're successful. I mostly measure success by happiness. So if I got so high up that I was a CEO, but I was unhappy, I wouldn't consider my life a success. Maybe my career is a success, but not my life. And I think that's important. I am, like, the lowest of the low at my company on the ladder, and I want to get higher. I want to do better. I want to get promotions. But I am happy with where I am, and I'm happy where I'm going.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Are you sticking with your dead bodies answer?
I mean, a more realistic answer is probably I define success through just... Well, I mean, there's two types of answers here. There's the honest answer, and then there's the interview answer. So a slightly more honest answer is like, yeah, I think the success just comes from security. Like, not worrying about the future, knowing that things are good, knowing that you don't have to be quite as worried, and like that never goes away. And also, it's not like a binary scale where like you're either successful or you're not. It's just, the more successful you are, I think the less you have to worry about the future and things like that. And that's why it's got kind of a personal bent on it. As for success in an interview question,
I mean, I think I would actually stick to my answer in an interview, because
I'd probably give something like, I don't know, accomplishing a goal and making sure everyone doesn't hate each other at the end of it. Because
working together, being a team,
yeah, given it, and keeping people communicating, because God, so many problems are just caused because people don't communicate well.
This is true.
Ridiculous number of problems, really, but yeah.
I mean, one of the core values for Madrivo is fail forward. So even if you're, failing, as long as you're still striving to move forward and continue on, you'll become successful. And I really appreciate that one. So, I can agree with that. What would your pet say about you if we asked for a reference? Tessa would say that she loves me. I'm her favorite person ever. I don't feed her enough. I'm very timely. I'm very set on my schedule.
Yes.
And I give really, really good head scratches.
True.
What would one of your pets have said about you?
I don't know. Most of my pets really enjoy sleeping. So...
I mean, Tessa likes sleeping too, but...
Yes, but Riley, spent all of his time trying to find the nearest human to sleep on their lap.
Okay, well, would Riley say you have a comfortable lap to sleep on?
Yes, he usually slept on my head.
Oh, that's so cute!
When I would go
you
to
have
sleep.
a big, soft, warm head.
Yes. Yeah, no.
I'm kidding.
Thank you, dear.
You have a soft head. Your hair is very fluffy. I love your hair.
I see, I have fluffy hair. Okay, so they'd probably say that, too.
That is actually a really creative question. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
I think it would be an issue. You could come across someone like me who has the potential to cry in the interview because my pet is dead. You also have the potential to come across someone who does not have a pet or has never had a pet. And so you're ostracizing them. So I feel like this is a question you'd want to consider before asking.
I mean, I think it'd work out fine.
Well, I mean, okay, if you've never had a pet, you'd be like, I've never had a pet. And then they're like, oh, but if you had a pet, what would they say? And then it's just like, I don't know, I've never...
Like, okay, not applicable. But,
Let's see.
You have siblings? It's like a pet.
No, God, no.
They like you? They tolerate you?
Okay, so it says, a person's outlook on the wisdom of animals says everything about their ability to be compassionate, intuitive, and emotionally connected to the people around them. Honestly, professional and personal boundaries are starting to blur, and it's not always a bad thing.
Sorry, what was that?
That second sentence made no sense for that.
Yes.
But the first one did.
What's the question?
The question, it was the pet one. I was just reading their explanation of it after.
I got lost there. Okay. I'm
Okay. We'll move on to the next question now.
You're confusing me.
How can you say that a certain process is effective? It gives you the outcome you want. Consistently. Or maybe every time, actually. Because even if only 1 out of 100 times it gives you the wrong answer, that I wouldn't consider that effective.
I'd make it a little more generic and just that it gives a positive outcome, because sometimes the outcome you want and a positive outcome are not immediately correlated.
Well, I mean, what if that's the wrong answer, though? Just because you get a positive outcome doesn't mean...
Well, no, a positive outcome, net positive, not... Because, so... I guess it's just quibbling over semantics here, so, yeah.
I'm confused. I'm genuinely, I don't understand. Just because you have a positive outcome, yes, all right, everything is great, but what if everything's actually wrong and you've got completely wrong output?
No, I don't mean positive in that manner. I mean, you accomplish the goal. So, for example, okay, you want your work team to work together better. Uh-huh. So you try to do a different style of management to get them to work together better. Or to get them to be closer. So they'll all like each other and hang out after work and, team morale. And by the end of it, they still hate each other, but they work together better. You still got your results. It's a positive outcome. It's not the way you expected it, but it works, you know? As long as they found a way to, like, tolerate each other so you'd stop doing these kinds of things, or whatever it was that got them together, then so be it, you know?
I'm sleepy.
Why are you sleepy?
Because it is 8:20.
All right, let's sleep.
All right, so how to start a oh wait, are we done with the questions? Was that the end of it? Because that was number 253. It was.
I start conversations by asking people what they'd like to talk about.
Is that right? What would you like to talk about, handsome man?
I don't know. What would you like to talk about?
That is not the question that I asked you.
That's not the question.
You're not. That's not the answer that
You expected?
it does not answer my question. You need to try again.
No.
But I asked you
But
to
nothing.
quite rudely.
All
All right. Well, shall we move on to the next questionnaire?
I believe we can.
This one is 200 questions to get to know someone. If I can get to it. Okay. What shows are you into? All right. So, before we start, do we want to do shows we have not finished or shows that we have finished? We need to pick.
Let's do have not,
Have not finished. Okay.
because we finished a lot of stuff.
I am not into The Expanse. I'm trying.
Romantic.
I'm not there. I'm into The Americans. That one's really good. What else are we in the process of watching right now?
My Hero, technically.
Oh, My Hero Academia. Oh, I'm so into that show. 110% yes. Every time. Always.
Do unfinished things count? Like, we know they're getting a second season or a third season or a fourth season.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Then I'm guessing Peaky Blinders and
Ooh, I was going to say Castlevania.
Castlevania, yeah.
I'm so excited for the next season. If you guys like, Castlevania setting, Van Helsing and all that, you need to watch this show on Netflix.
It's quite violent.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
it is a cartoon. It's anime-esque, actually. It's not actually Japanese, is it?
No, it's not actually Japanese.
It's American, but it has the anime style. It is very violent. It has some gore in it. It has curse words, so I would not recommend it for children. But it's amazing. It's really good. The characters are really interesting.
It's very fun. Yeah. I like it.
Is One Punch Man getting another season?
One would assume, but then again, apparently printing money isn't a good enough reason for them to make another season, so I don't know.
I would be very excited for that if there was more.
I would hope so, but I don't think the arcs are moving all that fast. John told me they were not that far ahead. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Will there ever be more of the Hunter x Hunter anime?
Not to my knowledge. I'm not even sure if the manga's continuing. It keeps going on hiatus because he's been having health issues.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
I'm a Yu Yu Hakusho man.
Yes, that's what he did.
Okay, that is my second favorite anime
I
of all
know,
time.
I know.
So that is very important to me.
I know.
What else are we waiting for an update on?
I'm looking forward to the next season of Witcher, even if you're
No,
possibly
okay,
going to tolerate
so I would say overall I prefer The Witcher to The Expanse because although so there is one character I like in The Expanse, and that is it. If everyone else were to die, I would still be okay. But if they kill off Amos, I will stop watching because I don't like anyone else. The Witcher, Yennefer was freaking spectacular. So I like Amos. I love Yennefer. She is a great character. I want to learn more about her. Probably never gonna see the Gold Dragon again, but I loved him.
Murder. Oh no! Wait, what's his name?
I don't know. I didn't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it yet.
That's his dragon name. I don't know.
Well, the Gold Dragon.
Yes.
I really liked the bard that was hanging out with him.
Yaskir, or in the games they call him Dandelion. I don't know why they call him that because I barely played the games, but maybe he earns that nickname. I don't know.
Maybe. So I liked him.
Or maybe it's in the books too.
I did not like The Witcher. I found him to be vastly boring. I enjoyed the dynamic of Yennefer in the past with the other witches and whatnot that she was going to school with. Her teachers, I liked them. Maybe I didn't like them, but I liked the way they interacted. So it was really interesting to watch. versus most of the people on the Expanse bore me. So I usually, you guys, I whip out my iPad and I start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I'm not interested
you don't
in them.
like her yet.
Oh, the woman we were talking about with the deep voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's a horrible human being. I get that there are reasons, all right, and now that I know that her friend did not kill himself, I'm doing a little bit better, but I'm still just like, the fact that what she did made people believe he killed himself because of what she did. That she's not a good person. I'm sorry.
No, she's not.
I just.
But that's why it's interesting, because most people, especially in positions of power, are not objectively good people.
No.
That's
well, okay, she hasn't done a single thing where I've been like, yes, good.
To be fair,
I'm always over here like, wow, that was really mean. She's a. So.
You're gonna get.
I censored myself. Sorry.
You're gonna get that. Well, she's gonna continue to be that. But
yeah, she is. She's a freaking politician. I hate politics.
No, you'll.
I love the actress. That's the thing. I love her. That woman can act.
She knocks
But her
this
character is
apart.
so freaking horrible.
No,
like, everyone, I mean, freaking Amos actually isn't a very good guy, but I appreciate his loyalty. I like that about him. So, he has a quality that I like.
I see.
So, I don't know. Yeah. Bleh. Such a Debbie Downer.
Ruining everything. It's
so bad. I love the world. I would be so much more happy to watch other people in this world. Because I want to see more of the world and less of these horrible people.
I mean, I will straight say that to me the reason it's interesting is because it has very realistic people and a very realistic world. And I dislike a lot of shows because they tend to make worlds that aren't realistic. It's just, oh, well, we wanted this or we wanted that, and they don't put a lot of thought into consequences. And it is weird because there are certain characters who seem to get away with being completely unrealistic while certain other ones are stuck dealing with consequences. I definitely dislike arguably the main character because I feel he's
a Mary Sue.
Yeah, absolutely. And he gets to dodge almost every consequence that would, normally wreck somebody's existence, and he just gets to kind of like...
plot armor. I hate him. I hate him so much because he's a Mary Sue, and that just annoys me so much. Like, oh yeah, we want to make him the good guy. He's the one who logged the distress call. But, like,
I agree.
don't like him.
He is by far the weakest writing in that show. But there's characters you haven't met yet and situations you haven't seen. She's barely started season 2. I think you've watched one episode.
One episode, yeah.
Yeah, so she hasn't
like,
seen...
I like Alex. He doesn't have a ton to do so far. I would like to see more from him. Sometimes I like the detective. Sometimes
really
I
like
want to
him.
just kill him.
But that's why I like him, though, because I can like flawed characters.
See, it's not the... I mean, freaking Peaky Blinders. All of the brothers are flawed. I like all of them. But they're not only horrible human beings. So many of these people are not good people.
I mean, I think more of them are just boring than not good people.
Well, yeah, and boring is... I don't want to pay attention to boring.
Yeah, boring is
that's
worse.
That's not interesting at all.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the rant about The Expanse.
Also, they killed the doctor, and he was my favorite. Oh, whatever. It happened in, like, the second episode.
Fair enough. I see.
I mean, he wasn't even a doctor, so...
Also.
Okay, are there any other shows?
I want to go back into Mr. Robot. I watched, like, 1 or 2 seasons of it, and I was up and down on it. It seemed kind of interesting, but then I caught up, I think, or I was close to catching up, and I'm like, I'm not completely into this enough to... So I want to just start over and watch it, which is why I would like to just try it with you. I'm 60% certain you're going to hate it. So I'll just watch it on my own. Alone.
I want to continue The Man in the High Castle. I watched that when it came out on Amazon Prime. So if you guys don't know about it, it's if the Nazis had won World War II. And so, let's see, what is it? Japan basically owns the West Coast, and Germany basically owns the East Coast, I think. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I apologize if I'm wrong. But it was really interesting, and I watched the first 2 seasons. And the 3rd season came out, I want to say fairly recently? like within the last 5 years, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I totally want to get back into that, and I want to watch season 3. That show's really cool.
Is it now?
I believe it's based off a book, actually.
I would believe it.
I want to say the book is The Man in the High Tower.
I would believe it.
I could be wrong, though.
I would not know. What else is coming out? Or there was something else. Obviously, I'll keep up on Rick and Morty. It's a shame. I am pretty sure you would hate that show, but there are things about it that you would love. Namely, its use of sci-fi. Like, it can be really clever. It does sci-fi horror well at times. Like, there are other times where it's just childish or gross or whatever, so whatever. But it really does nail, like, that kind of Lovecraftian, or maybe not even Lovecraftian, but, like, just, like, how amoral and crazy high sci-fi tech could be, and how ill-equipped humanity is to deal with that on an emotional level. Like, just a person dealing with those sorts of things when you've kind of grown up with these moral structures and ideas and all that. And then kind of watching that all get nuked because it just doesn't really fit if you start really hyper-applying this stuff. And then, you know, it's dumb and it's funny at times, but it's definitely not, like, high art or anything.
Yeah,
but it's
that
very...
art style is so ugly. Every time you or Jake watches some of it, I'm just like, ew.
It is, yes.
So ugly.
Definitely an ugly art style.
So ugly. Like, that's what kept me from watching Adventure Time. Every single one of my friends has told me I would love it. And I'm sure they're correct. But that art style is so ugly.
What actually kept me out of Adventure Time is it's boring. Maybe it gets good, but, like, I prefer stuff that has kind of an arc. And, like, I don't know how many episodes I tried to watch, but I eventually just gave up because it was like nothing is happening. They're just little one-offs, and that's fine. Like, if I were younger, especially, and something was on TV, I'd watch them. And people tell me, "Oh, but you got to watch until blah blah blah," and I'm just like, I can't do it. It's not moving enough, and, like, then I can't watch something that actually starts an arc, and then I have to wait another 20 episodes before I get some arc again. Like, I need a little bit more these days. I want a narrative.
I mean, along those lines, I loved The Hobbit, and I'm talking about the books, not the movies. I loved The Hobbit.
No one would ever say they love the movies. How dare you?
Actually, I think I did finally go and see the third one. At home or something. Like, it was not on the big screen, and I was okay with that. I loved the book, though. And I read it in a class on Tolkien. And I started reading the first, of the 3 Lord of the Rings books. And I've always told myself that I have to read the first 50 pages of a book. I have to, no matter what. And if I'm not engaged by the time I get to page 50 and I don't want to continue, that's when I make the choice to just put it down and I move on. Because if you can't make me enjoy your book within the first 50 pages, you're not the type of author for me. And I wanted to stick around. I wanted to continue because I was like, I love the Lord of the Rings movies. They're really great. And I loved The Hobbit. So I know I can get behind Tolkien's writing style. I got to page 50 of that first book, you guys, and I hated it. Nothing was happening. They were still in the Shire. Sorry, I was going to say the wrong word. And freaking nothing was happening. And I was just like, I can't. I understand that, he's building the world, but nothing was happening. Nothing important happened, and I couldn't. I loved The Hobbit.
I prefer The Hobbit, actually, to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which, while I think has good moments and some great world building, is a bit of a slog at times. Because, it's like, what I like about The Hobbit is it's an adventure, and we've, especially these days, kind of turned that into, the adventure movie, the action movie, or show, or whatever, where, you're going to go out and be a hero, and it's not really about that. It's literally just about one person kind of going outside their comfort zone, and whatever happens. He's not supposed to just be the hero, he's a small part in a bigger cog, or machine. Small cog, bigger machine. There we go. Words.
English.
That too. Hola. So, he, Lord of the Rings itself, I definitely skimmed when I felt he was getting heavy. Like, that's always been my trick, is if I think a book is well written, but I can't stand the amount of like descriptions going on, I'll skim. I can pull, like, enough detail. I'm like, yep, that's detail, that's detail, that's detail. I get it. It's a mountain. It's a mountain. It's still a mountain 6 pages later.
See, and I don't like skimming. Because I'm always paranoid that I'm going to miss something important. And then I'm just like, they wrote it because it was important in some sense. Like it was important to them, or like the editor didn't cut it out.
Someone wrote the Scarlet Letter.
I didn't read it. Don't want to.
Don't try.
Yeah.
If you like the Scarlet Letter, that's fine.
I liked Easy A to an extent, I guess.
Yeah, a much better adaptation.
John's favorite movie.
Without wasting my day. It's a lot of that. We did that in my English honors class that I eventually left because I just hated the teacher. Courtney loves her.
Yes, you guys have told me about her. Yeah.
And it was just such a... I understand why they teach it, because, okay, this person is showing off a very, very, very descriptive style to kind of get into the idea of a student that, hey, you don't just have to describe what you see, but you could describe it in great detail and how to really do detail. But the idea that they require you to read that book, I think, should be a war crime. So...
I will say, every single book I was forced to read in school, I usually did not like. When the teacher gave us a list, and they were like, go home, read some summaries, come back, tell me what books you would like to read, I usually liked those. When I was given the chance to look into it, I usually liked them. Or when the teachers was like, hey, you know what? I want you to read a book this semester. I don't care what it is, but I want you to read a book. I always liked that one because I'd get to pick. I got to read the Pendragon series because in 7th grade, the teacher was like, all right, here is a cabinet of books. Aw, honey, you're lost underneath your blanket. You're so cute. Here is a cabinet full of books. Look through it, pick one you like, and at the end of the quarter or semester, whatever time frame it was, you have to take a quiz on it. So you have to, read this book and understand it, like the core concepts and the main events and whatnot. And that's how I read Pendragon. Loved it. So happy to this day that I read that book. And I will say, I was grateful that I had to take a quiz on it because it made me pay even more attention to it. And it was so good. I read Pride and Prejudice because my AP English Lit teacher online was like, hey, here's a list of books. Pick one you want. And I was like, you know what? I really want to read Pride and Prejudice because the movie with Keira Knightley, I absolutely adore. And I know I would enjoy the book. And I did.
That seems like cheating.
Well, no, because it's...
No, I know.
There are enough differences that it's like, yeah, it's not the same story. I mean, like, it's the same story, but there are enough differences that, like, if she had told me to write a report on it, and I did my report off of the movie, she would have been like, yeah, no, honey, no.
Oh, no, I mean, like, my experience with books like that was rough, where I would get these reading lists starting in kindergarten, because of where I went to school, and they were just these ridiculous slogs of, like, classics and things like that. Maybe not that early, but that's what they eventually turned into. And what actually got me into reading was in 8th grade, we had a reading list, and there was some sci-fi on it, and my friend had told me about Ender's Game.
I love that book!
Yeah, and I burned through that in an evening, and then I also burned through the rest of the series over the weekend. And then I eventually, in high school, also read 1984, which I was like, oh wow, this is good too. And so that's kind of what got me into the whole thing. But yeah, reading lists for me were like, oh yay, arbitrary lists of books that are supposed to be good but don't have anything that interests me personally. Hooray.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I always was able to find something that the subject or the summary did intrigue me, and I did want to read it. Like, in that same English Lit class my senior year, the online one, we were given a list, and as a class, she was like, all right, you guys, this forum is for you guys to discuss what books you would like to read. It is completely up to you guys how you want to decide on this, but you as a group, as a class, have to pick one book that everyone is going to read. I don't remember who came out and said it, but we were like, okay, how about we all pick, like 3 that we each want to read, And on the incredible off chance that we all pick one that we all want to read, that'll be it. And lo and behold, we all picked Crime and Punishment. Every single one of us had that on our list. So we were like, all right, teacher, we're going to read Crime and Punishment because everybody wants to read it. It sounds interesting. And we all enjoyed it. It was a really interesting book.
I've never read Crime and Punishment.
I think you would like it. I think you'd like it. I don't know about Pride and Prejudice, but I think you would like Crime and Punishment.
Possibly. These days I read, Butcher and Sanderson, and Pratchett has passed away, and not a lot else, he realized.
What am I on, book 8?
Oh no, I've been reading I was reading Altered Carbon, which I do want to finish, and then I was which is getting a season 2 soon,
Yep,
so
that one. I think I need to rewatch season 1 because I'm gonna forget everything. I've forgotten everything.
They'll do a recap.
When you were telling Jake about everything, I was like, I don't remember that.
They'll do a recap.
I don't remember that.
You can watch.
Okay, well, if there's a video on it, that'll work because you just going over it with Jake, nothing for me. But a video,
I'm sure
that might help.
Yeah, well, this way you can rewatch it. I'm not.
I'm not saying you have to rewatch it with me. Yeah. I can rewatch it on my own.
You're on your own there.
But no, what book are we on for Dresden? Book 8?
Yeah, 8 or 9.
8? I think it's 8.
It's 8. It's definitely
8. And out of 15, so I am past halfway. I am very excited to continue. Wow, that was a really long tangent. We should move on.
Yes, dear.
What's your claim to fame? Most people like talking about themselves, and what better question to get them to talking than letting them talk about something they are proud of? I mean, my claim to fame is obviously the Pokemon cross stitch. Like, it blew up. Everyone learned about it. Then they started watching me and following me. So, that guy. And perhaps one day when I finish this one, 4 Heavenly Beasts can be my next claim to fame. I still wouldn't say I'm famous, but it didn't blow up the way that the Pokemon cross stitch did.
True.
I would say it definitely took more effort and skill because the Pokemon cross stitch, it was literally just a bunch of regular 2-strand stitches versus Magnificent Wizard. I had half stitches, I had quarter stitches, I had 3/4 stitches, there was back stitching, there was metallic thread, there was so much more effort put into Magnificent Wizard. It was on black fabric. So, I mean, ultimately, I don't even know what one I could say I'm more proud of. Because, although Magnificent Wizard took me less time, it did take me more effort. So, I don't know. What's your claim to fame, handsome man?
I mean, I've done some stuff at work that I'm proud of, but it's not really fame claiming. Probably the more impressive, the thing that everyone remembers from me is the debate tournaments and winning state and going to districts and nationals and all that. So
being amazing.
Yes, dear.
Love you.
'Cause yeah, that was cool.
Oh yeah. How often do you play sports? Not a lot at all. Like, if there was a badminton court and I could get someone to go play badminton with me, I would play all the freaking time. I love badminton. Like, nothing else. Like that. Oh my goodness. I think the last time I got to play it was, like, gosh, 2013, 2014. And I played with a bunch of people that were way younger than me and not nearly as good as me. And I still had a complete blast. Because, like, I don't play badminton to win. I play it to have fun and to enjoy it. And yes, it is generally more fun to play with someone who's good at it because then it can become competitive. But even with kids and teaching people how to play it, if everyone is having fun, that is literally all that I care about. I love it. I love it so much.
I played tennis for a bit.
And when was the last time you played tennis?
Last year sometime. Mm-hmm. In the summer when it was a zillion freaking degrees.
You need to play more tennis with Robert.
I really do. I enjoy it. I just need to find time and go. And he needs to find time too. he asked the other week, and I was like, it doesn't work, but hopefully when he gets back, I'll start playing again because the weather is no longer cold and I'm no longer sick.
Yes, that's definitely a plus. Not being sick is a yay.
I used to play soccer as a kid. I enjoyed that, but
I played soccer a lot as a kid too, and I always did defense. I was not offense.
I was defense or right wing. We had one good year.
I don't even know what that is. I know defense and offense and the goalie.
Right in the
Technically, goalie is defense, but still.
Yes,
Defense.
Yeah, I think the problem with sports. I actually played ultimate frisbee for a brief period of time.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was an interesting time in my life. Anyways,
a lot of them you need enough players.
Well, you need enough players, and then you need people of the same opinion as to why you're there. Because the problem is like, I like to be competitive in some of the games I play online, and I understand that not everybody wants to do that. So, of course, I'm not going to, like, when I have Scott over, if he's feeling like playing a casual game, I'm not going to sit here and try and crush him or whatever.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, especially with a physical sport, if you've got a team, like, okay, I'm not going to ever be good enough to play basketball or football, even at a casual level in any serious way. I'm not even in shape to do it. So, or even tennis. So I do worry that, like, Robert's getting better and better and better, and I'm barely capable of rallying, Like, I can be good. I was decent when I was a kid, and I have moments of, like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this. But I just can't keep up. And so it's hard to find that same mixture of skill level and desire. Like, are we here to have fun, or are we here to, like, get better and compete? Are we here, like, what's your reason? That mix is tricky.
I mean, it's not the same, but I really like playing games with my family because we're all on the same page. If we're not liking a particular rule, we ignore it. Like, if it's more fun for us to play it our own way rather than by the rules, we're going to do that. We're going to come out of this happier than how we came in. We were playing the game with all the music, and it was supposed to be like teams. So it would have been David, my brother, and I against my mom and my sister, and we would have had more people because David is not the music person that the rest of my family is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay, honey, and I still love you. And so I think in the first round, my sister and I went head to head, and you have like 15 seconds. You flip over a card, and it'll say, like, songs that have the weather in them. And whoever can think of the first song, I want to say it was me. It doesn't matter. But, so if I do, like, A Year Without Rain by Selena Gomez, I would hit the button, and it would start a timer. And if my sister could think of a song within those 15 seconds, she could sing it, Walking on Sunshine. She could hit it, and then it would reset the timer, and I would have 15 seconds to continue. And, and then I could sing Purple Rain, hit it, and it would go back and forth until eventually you can't think of another song. And then, so if I just sang Purple Rain, and my sister can't think of any other songs, the timer ends. I get to grab 6 cards, and I pick 3 of them for myself, and I pick 3 of them for my sister. And you have 3 ways to get people to try and guess these cards. You could say the lyrics. You can't sing them, you have to say them. You could say one word to try and get them, you were trying to get them to guess an artist. So, you could say lyrics to one of their songs. You could say a single word, or you could try and hum it. I cannot hum to save my life. And when other people hum, I have a very, very difficult time distinguishing what they're humming. Like, there were maybe 2 times when I understood what you guys were humming. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not good. I don't understand what it is about me, but I can't hum, and I can't understand humming for the most part. But, so when we did that, David would be on my team and my brother, and they would try and guess, based off of what I'm saying, what the cards are, or, what artist I have in my hand. And then when we're done with mine, we're supposed to move on, and my sister would try and get my mom to guess hers. Eventually got to the point where we were like, like my mom would sometimes get the hint that I'm giving, but my boyfriend and my brother aren't, so we don't get to do that one. So then we just had everybody was allowed to guess. Obviously, except for the people with the cards in their hands. But, and we didn't do points or anything. Like, you didn't get the cards because you won. And, yeah, we didn't do any timers because that's just annoying.
Well, also, even the good people weren't getting any answers before the timer was up. Like, you and your sister and your mom couldn't get many. Yeah. And me and your brother were just, it was not happening.
And then... And we also just branched out a little bit from the rules. So originally, like, I gave the hint freezing. And they were naming a bunch of different bands. The band I had was Coldplay, and you were the one who eventually said it. And, we had a few more. And then it got to the point where if they couldn't guess it based off of the set 3 rules that we had, like if I said freezing, if I tried to say the words to one of the songs and I tried humming it and no one had gotten Coldplay, we started to branch out. Instead of getting them to try and say cold, I would have tried to get them to say play. Like I could have said like Missoula Children's Theater. And so instead of just one word, we branched out. And I felt like it became more fun after that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it wasn't just about competing. It was about like trying to think of hints that made sense and then trying to figure out what the hints were.
I think part of the problem was no one at the table was good enough at the game for the game to be fun. Like, they put in a timer and all these rules on the idea that the people playing are, I guess, good enough music fans that they can just knock these out left, right, and sideways. But, one, I sort of feel like we should have trimmed the list of options because there was an incredible breadth of music in there. Like, classics, new age, old stuff, common stuff, off the beaten tracks, greatest hits.
It was all over the place.
So, AC/DC to Janis Joplin to...
Those are actually...
Ariana Grande.
There you go. That was a better comparison.
What?
Janis Joplin and AC/DC.
Was it the same time period?
Close.
I'm bad at this. So... I tried.
You did. It's the effort that counts, babe. It's the effort that counts. I mean... Before you were there, or no, it was the Christmas party. My mom, my sister, my grandma, and I think my brother for a little while, we played a Disney game that was, you flip over a card and you say the movie and then someone tries to sing a song from it. And the rules were you're supposed to sing the entire song. And if you said something wrong, someone else was supposed to challenge you and then you'd look it up. And, oh, no, I did have the words right. I get a point. Or, oh, no, you were wrong. Now I get a point because I called you out on it. Cash box? What?
Rock the cash box.
Casbah, honey. You shush. You eat your food in silence. So, and then there was a wheel that apparently, I don't know, it was very intricate. You're supposed to spin it and then do whatever it says. And so my nephew, Jesse, he really wanted to just play with the wheel. And he did one, he's like, Aunt Lizzie, what's this one? And I was like, it says to roar like the beast. And he was like, huh. So I turned to him and I was just like, roar! And I scared the crap out of him. And everybody was laughing. He was just like, ah! It was great. And so there were a couple of things on there that were cute that, might have been fun. But we got to the point where we were like, we just want to sing these songs. And we didn't care about singing the whole song. We only cared about singing enough that you could recognize the song. So I can sing all of Be Our Guest. But if all I sang was Be Our Guest, put our service to the test, I would get the card. Because it's like, yes, I know that song. I recognize that song is from Beauty and the Beast. Boom, there you go. You were the first one to think of it. You were the first one to start singing. There you go. And ultimately, I did end up winning. I had like twice as many cards as everyone else. That's just because I love Disney songs. But even if I hadn't won, if I hadn't gotten the most points, I still would have had fun just because I love Disney songs. And, but yeah, so my family, we are completely willing to switch up the rules and to change the game entirely just to make it more fun for all of us. Because ultimately, if it came down to you have to be able to sing the entire song word for word, I would be the only person singing. And some people might get points from challenging me and, oh, yep, I said we instead of us or whatever. but that wouldn't be as fun compared to everybody trying to think of a song and trying to sing it out. So, I have no idea how I got on that subject.
Talent.
Yes. Are you usually early or late? I am almost always early. I am very much of the mentality, like, if you are on time, you are late. You are only on time if you're early.
I'm not sure. When I was younger, I definitely would have said late. Actually, no, I feel like I'm pretty good at getting somewhere on time. But then, by definition, if anything goes wrong, I'll be late. So I'm probably late more often than I'm early. But I'm never...
You're usually on time.
Yeah, I'm rarely catastrophically late. And I'm generally good at estimating times and planning around that. So, I guess late, though.
Yeah. Between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm shooting to be there on time, so if anything goes wrong, I'm late.
85% of the time, you are just on time.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to be. So, what quirks do you have? This is another uncommon conversation question, but it can often tell you a lot about the person, and it could be a good way to get them talking about themselves.
I shoot sticky tape from my elbows.
No, honey. No. You are not. What's his name? Cero? I think his name's Cero.
I think so.
I like him. What quirks do you have? When I get the hiccups, I will get them 5 times throughout the day. I don't just get them once. I get them 5 times.
When your boyfriend walks into the bedroom, you get terrified.
Did I already? I think we already talked about that.
And yet, I'm bringing it up again.
I don't think that's a quirk. I think that's a detriment. I don't know. I don't know if it's a quirk. I think we're both really good at laughing at ourselves and making fun of ourselves. Like that. Quirk. I mean, I think the hiccups, that definitely is a standout. What quirks do you have? Because I feel like the definition of that is basically like, what is something that's odd about you, right?
I would assume, yeah, like a quirky person has, like, for example, if they were to, like a heretic, eat uncooked hot dogs.
Oh, okay. So when I eat hot dogs, I go into the fridge, I open up the package, and I eat it. I don't like heated up hot dogs, and I don't like hot dogs in a bun. I don't like heated up hot dogs in a bun. I like just cold hot dogs from the fridge. And most people think that is super freaking weird about me, but like they're good, and I'm okay with that.
I see. Quirky.
What's quirky about you?
I don't know. I
Tell a lot of Jew jokes for
sure.
a Jew.
No, we all do that. I mean, I obviously have a dark sense of humor. I'm not sure if that's quirky.
Yeah.
I don't have any particular, I still build Legos. That shouldn't be quirky. I have a puzzle collection. That's pretty quirky. I have too many keyboards.
Yes, this is true.
Yes.
So many keyboards. How many do you have? 3, 2, 1. Answer.
I have to count.
You can't even count.
Hold on.
That's how many you have.
Relax. I have that one, that one, that one, that one.
He's looking at the ceiling while he counts, by the way.
I have 6. Or I have 5 currently. I will have 6 when one more arrives. Of them, I would say...
You regularly use...
Well, no, 2 are obsoleted because they were keyboards I used to own that kind of got me into all this, and therefore I have them, but I probably will like give them away or resell them. And then 2 are the rest. I mean, I obviously use this one. I obviously use the one I just got. The other one I have in my bag is because it's very small. And so if I am in a space like an airport, like in a plane,
Ideal.
It is nice to have because it's just very, 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 very tiny. It's a 40% keyboard for those of you who know what that is.
Why did you just put rice in your hair?
I didn't. Why did you think I put rice in my hair?
Yeah, that's what you did. You're a dork.
It's quirky.
Yeah, okay. He eats his dinner and then he puts it in his hair. No, no. You're odd. You're weird.
Did not do that. But,
Sure. Yeah. I think that about covers it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that's kind of back to hobbies, not quirks, so.
How often do you people watch?
A lot.
Not really. Because I feel like I know this isn't true, but I've always felt like people watching has a bad connotation to it. Like, you know, you're people watching and you're mostly looking out for the people that are weird. You know, like the people of Walmart website or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Where they post
People
pictures
of
and
Walmart.
videos of people wearing
See,
horrible things to Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm taking it to the extreme.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. I don't want to see the negative. I prefer to see the positive. And I don't know. Like I mean, I will say I am one of the most people watchers that I know, just because, like, today, for instance, we went to a really big workshop at work and we had a speaker come in and talk to us. And every break that we had, I usually, like, I would check the time just to see what time it was and how much more we had. I'd put my phone away. I'd look around. And 95% of the other people were just on their phone or their laptop. Like, I remember there was one time I looked around the entire room. I looked at each person for a moment and I continued on. And there were only 2 people besides me not on their phone. And both of those people were eating. I wasn't eating. I was like, I don't really feel the need to do something on my phone for a 10-minute break. I'm okay. And then I wasn't hungry, so I wasn't going to get a snack. But I mean, even I don't do that a lot just because I know it can make people uncomfortable. Not because necessarily I'm being creepy, but just because it's like, I know what it's like to be on your phone, to look up and be like, why is this person looking at me? Like, what, is there something on my face? Like, what's going on? So I generally don't like to people watch just because I don't want to make someone uncomfortable unnecessarily. Yeah, no.
I don't know. I people watch just because, like, especially when I used to be less social, it was just, you know, a way to, like, you're at a party or a concert or an event or something and you don't want to talk to anyone, so you people watch.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite drink? I love Dr. Pepper. I am trying to give it up, though. I also...
No, they make Diet Dr. Pepper.
No, I love Dr. Pepper.
Like, did I
No,
start?
At Albertsons, there is a signature select brand, and the drink is strawberry creme flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors. They are delicious. Oh my god, they're delicious. So, I'm gonna drop Dr. Pepper, and I'm gonna say this. Your turn. What's your favorite drink?
My go-to is definitely a bunch of different types of, like, flavored club soda and similar stuff as to what you just mentioned. I don't particularly care for Coke or Pepsi. Alcohol-wise, I like a lot of cordials, things with, like, flavor. There's, like, my dad got some banana-flavored cordially thing, I forget what to call it, from, I think, Tahiti or something he was visiting, and it's some of the best stuff I had ever had. It tastes like chocolate, bananas, and candy, and love, and I'm sure you could get incredibly wasted on it, but it tastes too good to waste it like that. But yeah, I mean, like, common every day, I'm probably getting, you know, either a diet soda or a water or a club soda if I'm at home, because that's what I drink. I don't know. I like occasionally making mixed drinks. Like, I like putting those cordially things in hot chocolate. That's pretty good. But I don't do that very often.
I like pina coladas.
In theory.
I learned that recently. I like them when they're made at restaurants. When
Love
they're
you
made...
too, dear. Love you too.
When they're made at home.
With love.
With
love, as you claim.
They either taste like pineapple or they taste like coconut, and I don't
Gee,
like
I wonder
that.
why. Why would the pina colada taste like pineapple or coconut?
None of the ones I've had prior to you tasted like that. So I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. You have to get the perfect balance between them, apparently. I don't know.
Love you, dear.
I love you more.
Do you, though?
Yes, I do. You don't have to make me pina coladas now. It's a good thing. Bring Kalani over. I'm sure he can teach
Yeah,
you.
I'm sure when he touches it, it'll be fine. But if I hand it to you instead, you'll hate it.
Love you.
Do you, though? Do you?
I love you the most.
And that is the fed. I said fat. I don't know what that means.
Well, you started strong, dear.
This is what editing is for.
Is
But I'll
it?
probably leave it in just because I've used myself. That is the end of 4 Heavenly Beasts Day 4. I got 6 hours and 37 minutes. That's actually the longest day I've had so far. I still have not gotten 7 hours of footage for 4 Heavenly Beasts yet, even though today I listened to all of Dresden Book 4, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Book 4. I did Book 4 on day 4 of 4 Heavenly Beasts. Is 444 like a bad number?
Yeah. In certain cultures, yeah.
So we're just going to pretend that that's not true and move right along. Yeah, and it was like an 11-hour book. So I don't know how I missed so much. I need to like... He's playing, what, Monster Hunter, was it? Yeah. Pretend I have a big head, because I really don't. Not physically, not literally, how's that?
You amuse yourself.
I do, but you're also standing here, and now I'm embarrassed.
You shouldn't be.
And yet I am.
Okay, I'm not paying attention.
That's a lie, and we both know it.
No. I have important things to do. Like find this thing. See, but now you're mad.
How rude!
I was trying to boost your confidence so you wouldn't be worried, and now you're...
You're telling me you're ignoring me, and I'm not important.
I can't win this, can I?
No, definitely not.
Let's see.
Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video.